On that unforgettable night at the Blue Dragon Awards, the atmosphere inside the venue felt heavier than usual, filled with anticipation, unspoken emotions, and memories that many fans had carried for years. Juno stepped onto the stage as one of the presenters, dressed in an elegant suit that perfectly matched the prestige of the event. His posture was calm and professional, yet there was something in his expression that immediately caught the audience's attention. It was not just confidence or charisma, but a subtle softness in his eyes that hinted at deeper emotions beneath the surface. As he began to speak, Juno's voice was steady and composed, reflecting his experience as an actor and performer who had stood on countless stages before. However, between the scripted lines and formal smiles, there were fleeting moments where his gaze drifted away from the teleprompter. His eyes moved slowly, almost unconsciously, scanning the audience seated before him. It was during one of these moments that fans noticed a brief but meaningful glance, one that seemed filled with longing. The camera captured Juno turning his head slightly, his eyes lingering in the direction of the audience. It was not a dramatic gesture, nor was it exaggerated in any way. Instead, it felt natural, like a reflex driven by emotion rather than intention. For a split second, the confident presenter seemed to transform into someone more vulnerable, someone whose heart had momentarily slipped past the boundaries of professionalism. Those who were watching closely could sense it. The look in Juno's eyes was soft, almost nostalgic, as if he was searching for something familiar in the crowd. It was the kind of gaze that carried stories, memories, and feelings that words could not easily express. Fans immediately felt that this was not just a random glance, but a moment charged with meaning. Before the audience could fully process what they had just seen, the camera made a sudden cut. The focus shifted away from Juno and landed on Yuna, who was seated among the attendees that night. The timing was impeccable, almost cinematic. Yuna, glowing with elegance and grace, had just been announced as the winner of the Popularity Award, and her reaction was being broadcast live to millions of viewers. Yuna's expression was a mix of surprise, gratitude, and warmth. She smiled brightly, her eyes reflecting genuine happiness as applause filled the hall. Yet, for those who remembered the history between her and Juno, the transition from his longing gaze to her radiant smile felt far from coincidental. It felt like the camera itself was telling a story without saying a single word. As Yuna stood up to acknowledge the honor, the audience erupted into cheers. The Popularity Award was a testament to her enduring influence and the unwavering love she received from fans over the years. Her presence on screen was powerful, commanding attention effortlessly, and yet it was her calm and humble demeanor that truly resonated with viewers. Meanwhile, Juno remained on stage, maintaining his composure as a presenter. From the outside, he looked perfectly professional, seamlessly continuing his role as if nothing unusual had happened. But fans could not forget that brief moment earlier, the way his eyes had softened when he looked into the crowd. The contrast between his composed exterior and that fleeting emotional glance only made the moment more memorable. Social media platforms began buzzing almost instantly. Fans replayed the clip again and again, slowing it down, analyzing every frame. Many pointed out the exact second when Juno's gaze shifted, noting the emotion they believed they saw in his eyes. Others focused on the immediate cut to Yuna, calling it one of the most emotionally charged camera transitions of the night. For longtime fans, the moment felt symbolic. Juno and Yuna shared a history that went beyond simple co-starring roles. Their past collaboration had left a deep impression, not only because of their on-screen chemistry, but also because of the mutual respect and warmth they had always shown toward each other. Seeing them connected again, even through a silent camera cut, stirred powerful emotions. The Blue Dragon Awards have always been known for their glamorous moments, unexpected wins, and heartfelt speeches. Yet, this particular scene stood out precisely because it was so subtle. There were no dramatic confessions, no emotional speeches, and no direct interaction between the two. Instead, it was a quiet exchange mediated by glances and camera work, allowing viewers to project their own feelings and interpretations onto the scene. Yuna's acceptance of the Popularity Award was graceful and sincere. She thanked her fans for their constant support, acknowledging that their love was the reason she could stand there that night. Her words were simple, yet deeply heartfelt, resonating with anyone who had followed her journey over the years. As she spoke, the audience listened attentively, moved by her humility. Back on stage, Juno listened as well, his expression respectful and calm. If there were any emotions stirring inside him at that moment, he did not let them show. That restraint, that ability to hold everything together, only added to the depth of the earlier glance. It suggested a maturity shaped by years in the industry, where personal feelings often remain hidden behind professionalism. Fans later described Juno's look as one filled with longing eyes, a phrase that quickly spread across online discussions. Some interpreted it as nostalgia, others as admiration, and some as a quiet acknowledgement of shared history. Regardless of interpretation, most agreed that the emotion felt genuine, not manufactured for the camera. The camera cut to Yuna felt almost poetic. In award shows, camera transitions are usually practical, focusing on winners and reactions. Yet this particular cut felt intentional, as if the director understood the emotional weight of the moment. Whether planned or purely coincidental, it created a narrative that viewers could not ignore. As the night continued, there were many other highlights, performances, and award announcements. However, for many fans, this single moment remained the most talked-about scene of the entire event. It was replayed in highlight clips, discussed in fan forums, and turned into short videos that circulated widely online. What made the moment so powerful was its simplicity. There was no dialogue between Juno and Yuna, no direct acknowledgement. Everything was communicated through body language, eye contact, and timing. In an industry often driven by spectacle, this quiet emotional exchange felt refreshing and deeply human. The Blue Dragon Awards stage has witnessed countless legendary moments over the years, but this one stood out because it allowed space for emotion without forcing it. Juno's longing glance and Yuna's radiant recognition formed a silent connection that resonated with viewers on an emotional level. For fans who had supported both artists individually and together, the scene felt like a gentle reminder of why they had fallen in love with them in the first place. It showcased Juno's depth as a performer and Yuna's enduring charm as an artist beloved by the public. As the show came to an end, discussions about that brief exchange continued to grow. Some fans expressed hope, others simply cherished the memory, and many appreciated the beauty of the moment without attaching expectations to it. It became a shared experience, uniting fans through emotion rather than speculation. In the end, that night at the Blue Dragon Awards proved that sometimes the most memorable moments are not the loudest or most dramatic ones. They are the quiet glances, the subtle shifts of the eyes, and the perfectly timed camera cuts that speak volumes. Juno's longing look and the cut to Yuna, receiving her popularity award, created a moment that will be remembered long after the applause faded. It was a reminder that behind the polished images and scripted roles, artists are still human, carrying memories and emotions with them onto every stage. And for a brief moment, under the bright lights of the Blue Dragon Awards, those emotions found their way to the audience, leaving a lasting impression that words alone could never fully capture.